For today's recipe, we're going to be cooking pheasant noodle soup. For step-by-step directions for this recipe and many others, visit thegreenwayoutdoors.com.
You know, the weather on this pheasant hunt was warm and hot. But you know what? We shot so many that we're able to put some in the freezer and bring it out for later. And when the temperatures go down, you want to get your pheasant temperature up by putting it in the oven or making a warm, tasty soup. Now we've got an array of ingredients here to really bring out the flavor of this pheasant, but this is a warm meal that you're going to want after a cold day outside. Let's get started.
In a large saucepan over medium heat, melt 2 tablespoons of butter and then add the onions, the carrots, and the celery. Cook them while stirring constantly until the onions become translucent. Next, you'll add 2 cloves of garlic that have been minced. In addition, you'll add 2 more tablespoons of butter and 8 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Stir constantly so that the flour turns golden brown. Next, you'll add your chicken stock, bay leaf, marjoram, thyme, potatoes, kale, and then cover for 20 minutes. Next, you'll take your pheasant legs and breasts and sear them with a drizzle of olive oil in a saucepan over medium-high heat. You'll do about 3 to 4 minutes on each side and use salt and pepper as you go. Make sure your internal temp is 165. Then pull it off the stove and cut into bite-sized pieces. Add the pheasant and the egg noodles to your soup, stir, and let simmer for another 15 minutes. By then, your noodles should be tender and it should be ready to serve.
The smell and aroma of almost like a chicken noodle soup fills the kitchen and smells fantastic. And I'll tell you what, knowing that you harvested this pheasant yourself, it makes it that much better. Now you'll notice my soup, if you want to call it that, pasta even, is super thick. Now you can add different fluids to this, add water throughout the process to make it a little bit thinner, but I like something hearty to bring in. But once in a while, if I'm going ice fishing, I want to throw something in the thermos, I'll add a bit of water and that'll help. But this tastes half as good as it smells. It's going to be fantastic. Oh, that is so good. And we added a little bit of extra salt and pepper to the entire mix, and that's something you'll want to do to add flavor or take away. Kind of test it and taste it as you go. But that is fantastic. That's mama's good cooking right there. If you want chicken noodle soup, use pheasant, mix it up with this recipe. I know you'll enjoy it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay green.